Yo, people, I'm your host, Major, and of course, I'm with my brother Ace, and welcome to another episode of Two Up Front. Ace, what are you telling me, bro?
Man, it's been a sad day, man, but I'm sure we're gonna talk about it. But other than that, I'm okay, bro. You know, what can we do? I like your line, highly blessed and highly favored,
Hey, man, always,
yeah.
man, always, bro.
But I see that you're smiling, bro. What's got you so happy?
Bro. Me, bro.
Yeah.
Okay. Should I set the scene?
Set the scene, bro. Talk to me.
Should I set the scene? I'll set the scene. So, yesterday was the 27th of October, 2024. And United had just lost to West Ham. Another defeat. And we'll talk about the game. And you know what? I thought there's nothing we can do about this. Like we're just stuck in a pattern. Like no changes are actually going to be made. Like I already thought, you know what? Like because I wasn't hearing anything concrete, so I just thought, you know what? Like this manager, he's just gonna keep on rolling and rolling and rolling on. And then, it's a new week. Get to work, doing what I need to do. And then all of a sudden, bro, I see a notification. Bro, everything stopped. Everything stopped, bro. Everything, bro. All of a sudden, the expression on my face changed. My colleague asked me, what's going on? I said, you wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe it. Bro, Erik Ten Hag has been sacked. Bro. I've got a lot of things to say today, man.
Wow. To say. No. Hey, get off your chest, man.
So you're just gonna have to let me flow, bro. You know, sometimes I just gotta flow, bro. That's how it goes, man.
Nah, do your thing.
Bro. I went to Old Trafford. You know how much I love that place. No matter what people say about the roof, you know how special that place is to me. I went to Old Trafford to see my team, Man United, Manchester United Football Club. And despite everything that's been going on, of course, you go there ready to back the team, ready to support, ready to lock in. And I saw the worst first half display that I've ever seen at Old Trafford on that day against Tottenham Hotspur. The worst, bro. We then went on to lose this match 3-0. Manchester United 0, Tottenham Hotspur 3. And bro, I don't know if you recall my post-match reaction, but in my post-match reaction, I said the Tottenham fans were singing, "You're getting sacked in the morning." And the United fans were singing, "We know he is."
Wow.
And we thought that potentially might be the turning point. But oh no, it wasn't. It continued. And bro, that match, that game, do you know why it's such a crucial, important event?
Why,
because Ten Hag has done a lot of different things during his tenure. But with that match, he tried to turn his managerial reign into a dictatorship.
Why'd you say that?
Because, bro, he then went on to tell us that it didn't happen. He denied it.
Yeah, you did deny
He
it.
said it wasn't so.
Mm.
He said it wasn't so, bro. He tried to change reality. He said it didn't happen. He said, I am not considering that a loss.
Mm.
It didn't happen.
He said, I deny it.
I deny it, bro. He said, I deny it. He said it didn't happen, bro. Bro, do you know what kind of man? Do you know what type of power? Do you know what type of authority is needed to even think of such claims? Like, do you understand? Bro, I don't think you understand.
No, I'm trying to.
Bro, I remember, yeah, when I was younger, I used to like, obviously, I was very interested in history and, you know, old rulers and, you know, kings and queens and, you know, just different parts of like history and, you know, just trying to study, learn more. And, you know, back in the day, it's not like how it is now when we're talking about the monarchy. Like they had extreme power. They could, you know, say things and try and make it so. Try and make it so. And bro, I was looking at Erik Ten Hag and I said, wow, in all these years, bro, I remember Fergie, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't even remember him doing that. The great Sir Alex Ferguson, bro. And I remember him telling me that, bro, this defeat didn't happen. It wasn't that long ago, bro. He told me the defeat didn't happen, bro. And even for a second, bro, I was scared because I thought when they said he was sacked, I thought he potentially might just say I denied that as well. Like, yeah, so you know, it was a lot, bro. But bro, this day has been long in the waiting. We've been waiting for it. And yeah, you know what my ultimate feeling is relief. Is relief. Is actually relief. Like Wendy just said here, defo the most mind-boggling quote I've ever heard. He really thinks he's Jesus. How dare he? How dare he tell me something that I witnessed with my own eyes didn't happen? How dare he, bro? He said it wasn't so, bro. He said it didn't happen. I've never seen that before. I've never seen that. I've seen managers make excuses. I've seen managers say, you know what? We performed bad, but it was because of X, Y, and Z. Bro, he said, I deny it. I don't consider it a defeat. He didn't say, oh, you know what? We were really unlucky that day. And I believe that if this decision didn't happen, then things might have changed. He said, I deny it. I deny it. All of you United fans, you went to witness that. You didn't witness it. Cross it off of your memory. Bro, incredible. But yeah, bro, the ultimate feeling is one of relief. Honestly, relief. I think that's where it is. It's just relief, bro. I'm just so happy that it's finally over. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And yeah, I'm ultimately just really relieved that it's finally over. And it's mad because I feel like it would have been great if we're able to stream earlier when I was like at the height of my emotion. I think now, you know what? Like, you know, when you're at the height of your emotion and you're like, oh, crazy. And then now I'm like, cool. He's gone. And then you're like, okay, you know what? We know there still is some wider problems. Obviously, now we're looking into who's going to be the next manager, and like you're thinking ahead, and all of these different things now come into your mind, and you start considering different aspects of, you know, the future of Manchester United. But yeah, that initial feeling was just one of relief. And regardless of what happens next, it doesn't change the fact that he needed to go. And I'm happy that it's finally happened. So yeah, bro, that's where I'm at with it.
No, that's fair, bro. And I didn't expect to hear anything other from you, to be honest, because I think you have been very clear with your opinions on Ten Hag and his tenureship at Manchester United. But I have to just say, if you would give me a few minutes, I have written a little speech just to,
Okay.
because I think I'm coming from this from the opposite point of view from you. Like I can see you smiling, but this has been devastating news for me. So if you would just give me a few minutes, please. Yeah.
Go on, bro.
Okay.
Go on, bro.
I have written, I speak on behalf of all of the rival fans when I say, we gather here today, not in celebration, but in sorrow, to bid farewell to a great man who gave us some of our most cherished memories over the last couple of years. Erik ten Hag, a manager who started his career at Manchester United with a comprehensive 4-0 defeat to Brentford. After shipping 4 goals in the opening 35 minutes, we didn't think things could get any worse. Yet here we are, 2.5 years later, and it did. Erik, you are truly one of a kind. Who else but Ten Hag could give us the joy of watching Manchester United win the Carabao Cup, only to follow it up with an unforgettable 7-0 thrashing by Liverpool a couple games later, I should say. Or the endless records like back-to-back worst starts in the Premier League history, a 4-0 away loss to Crystal Palace, a 3-0 defeat to Bournemouth at Old Trafford, and most recently, the 3-0 disaster at home to Spurs. And now, just as you denied that result, we stand with you if you decide to deny your sacking. After all, who else will brighten our weekends after a tough week? You gave us moments we'll never forget, like baffling tactical decisions, like playing Mazraoui as a centre attacking midfielder, or dropping Ahmad for Anthony, only to explain that Anthony is great in training. Gaslighting the United faithful week in and week out, but you also pulled off wins like the FA Cup final against Man City, staying your execution long enough to waste a quarter of United's next season. It's just a shame that incompetent refereeing this weekend has cost a great man like you his job. But enjoy that £17 million payoff, King. Thank you for spending 600 million of United's funds on the likes of Anthony, Mason Mount, and Casemiro, while extending Bruno and Rashford's contracts for another 3+ years. Your legacy will live on. As we bid you farewell, we look forward to Ruud van Nistelrooy stepping in. We hope he follows in your legendary footsteps because, frankly, weekends will not be the same without you, Ten Hag. Here's to you, Erik ten Hag. May your legacy of missed chances, questionable tactics, and rivals' joys live on. Thank you for the memories, and here's hoping that Ruud continues the magic. Thank you, Ten Hag, and we wish you the best on your next journey. Sorry, bro. I'm done now.
You done, bro?
I'm done now.
You done? I hear you. Hey, man. You know what's going to be very, very interesting? What I'll say, very, very interesting. As how obviously I'm delighted that Erik ten Hag has gone.
I know.
I'm delighted. And you know what? We will take those 2 trophies that he gave us.
Yep.
Like, you know, it's nice to win trophies always. And of course, the future of Manchester United is very uncertain currently. There's a lot of things going on as regards to, you know what, who's going to be the next permanent manager, who's going to be the team, or who's going to be the manager who's going to be able to bring United, quote unquote, back. Who's going to bring United back to the, you know, top of English football? Who's going to be able to like take on such a challenge? Who's going to be able to succeed at such a challenge? It's going to be really interesting. And yeah, a couple things there. Firstly, you know, during your speech, of course, you know, I think information, when you're giving information to the people, I think, you know, it's always important to be factually correct. So just wanted to correct a couple of things. So obviously the Brentford match, the Brentford match wasn't the first match. So
it wasn't.
It wasn't. That was incorrect, bro. So
okay.
You know,
Was that his second game?
You know,
was the first one the Brighton match? Okay, sorry,
there we go.
bad.
Yeah. So
what was the score in that one?
Was incorrect.
That was
what in the Brighton?
Yeah.
I think it was 2-1, bro.
Oh, 2-1. Okay.
Yeah, 2-1. Yeah, 2-1. We lost.
Sorry, it was so long ago.
So yeah. Just I know, bro. I was just making sure that, you know.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. I appreciate it.
The stats are correct. And yeah. And yeah, you know what? I think it's really interesting to see the approach you've been willing to take here, because you know, like I've said previously, United, we've been in the gutter.
It's true.
Completely in the gutter.
It's true.
And I don't hope, but I will be there waiting to see what exactly it is that your manager does this season.
Why are we talking about Arteta, bro? Today is Ten Hag's day.
Oh no,
okay,
bro.
let's both place on
everything
Ten Hag.
links, bro.
Okay,
everything
when last
links,
week you were last week I let you go off.
No,
but now
bro.
is we're talking about Ten
Bro,
Hag.
did I not let you go out? Did I not let you go off?
From the point.
Bro, did I not let you go off? I did not say a word.
Okay, you know what?
I did not say a word. Yeah, bro, I did not say a word, bro. I sat there silently and I said, bro's written a speech. Let him get what he needs to get off his chest. Do you get me? That's completely fine. And whilst, again, I will be respectful in the sense of letting you say what needs to be said. Again, and we're not going to go into a long discussion about this. Again, thank you, Wendy. Let Major land.
Okay.
And please, let Major land. That's all I'm asking. Okay. That's all I'm asking. Because ultimately, I like to deal with the facts. Ultimately. And the facts, as everyone will be able to note, is that Erik Ten Hag wasn't able to win us a Premier League. In fact, in the Champions League, he was absolutely awful. And we weren't able to progress in that competition either. And of course, we do know that he was able to get us a League Cup and an FA Cup. And of course, we do know that also included an 8th place finish, which isn't acceptable at all. Of course, it's not. But it is going to be very interesting to see what it is that your manager does. That's all I'm going to say. We're not going to get into a back and forth. It's not about that today. But it's just going to be very interesting to see what your manager does. Because you know what? The approach of writing a letter is a bold one. I respect it. It's a bold one. You really said, you know what? I want to do something clever today. I want to be creative. I really respect it. And you know, you wanted to note certain results and, you know, include certain things. And I understand that. I get it. You know, try to be creative, etc. But self-awareness is key in life, bro. It's absolutely critical. Self-awareness. And what I will say to the Arsenal fan base in particular is, please make sure you are self-aware. Because I think sometimes that is what is lacking when certain comments are being made. Because you know what? Again, my ops, I hate them. Liverpool.
I thought we were going to get into a long-winded...
No, bro. Let me go, bro. Okay. Let Major land.
Okay.
My ops, Liverpool. I've seen rival fans make certain comments, but I've also seen them lift the Premier League trophy and the Champions League trophy. Man City, I've seen them make certain comments. I've seen them win a treble. I've seen them win the Champions League. I've seen them win 4 Premier League titles in a row. Now, Arsenal, I've not seen anything. I've not seen anything. And it's going to be very interesting to see what Mikel Arteta is remembered by. And you know what? You may be able, at the end of his tenure, to say, look at what he delivered. Or maybe you won't be. Time will tell. Only time will tell.
Yeah, let's get to the end of his tenure. Time will tell. We'll get there. We're at the end of Ten Hag. That's how we're discussing it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for reminding us.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Time will tell. That's all I would say.
Very nice.
So, yeah.
Very nice.
So, whilst, you know, all the poetic this and that. I hear it, creative. You know, I see what you're going for there. Interesting tactic. But again, we will also be revisiting and focusing on your club. But back to my manager. Back to my manager. Currently, I believe is Rude, because I think that's who's going to be taking charge in the interim. And I saw you reference him as well. And of course, you know, I think as regards to expectations of Rude, he's someone there that's currently going to take over, obviously, quite a big mess. And it will be interesting to see what the strategy is going to be as regards to appointing a permanent manager, etc. We'll see what's going on there. But yeah, the first step has been taken as regards to getting rid of Ten Hag. I think that was critical. That was needed. So I'm happy that that's been done. But yeah, we'll see what happens in the future. But it's nice that he's finally gone. And so yeah.
No, I'm happy for you, bro. I know you've been waiting for this, but yeah. So I know I speak for all rival fans when we say we are sad to see him go. So that's why the speech felt warranted, because we all feel the same. So well, we'll see where United go from here, like he said, because we'll also be there. Because this is also not a guarantee that this is United going back. It could always get worse. So
I didn't say that. So, and we'll be there for Arsenal as well.
Yeah, of course.
We'll continue to be there. We'll continue to be there. Because you know what it is, other clubs, whilst Erik Ten Hag was there, they done major things.
That's fine. That doesn't bother me. Brentford fans can be laughing at that fans too. Because you don't win and you haven't won, and you can't laugh.
Didn't. So, that's completely. You can laugh and we can also laugh. Do you get me?
That's fair.
We can both laugh.
Yeah, but let's get to the end of our own first. Because we're prematuring what will happen. It'll be funny.
Because you know, one of our managers have been there much longer than the other. You have to remember that.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
When you're talking about 10 years, one manager's been there much longer than the other manager. So when you're talking about time and waiting, you've had a lot of time, bro.
Yeah.
So this is a first season. Oh, give him time, bro. Time has been had. So that's what I'm saying. We will judge accordingly. That's all I'm saying, bro.
Thank you.
We'll judge accordingly. So it's like, and we'll be watching very closely, bro. Because you know me, bro. I love playing this game. This is fun. So we'll be watching very closely, and we'll see what will happen. Okay. We'll see what will happen. But yeah, shout out Arsenal. Shout out Mikel Arteta. We'll see what's going on, because you know, like I said, a lot of rival fans are happy. Some of them were successful, others weren't. So we'll see.
Okay,
we'll see. But yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah,
thank you, Ten Hag.
Hey man, I remember him getting a nice victory at Old Trafford against you lot as well, and so you know, it's interesting. It's interesting, but yeah, we'll see. But yeah, Ten Hag, it's going to be interesting to see what happens moving forward regarding who's going to be the next manager of United. So yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. So yeah, but I think it's just moving forward now, like picking the next successor.
It's going to be so interesting to see what Ineos do, because Ineos are there on it's a very critical decision now they're about to make, like whether how long they give Ruud to, I guess, be interim and who they ultimately go with. So it's going to be very, very interesting. So yeah, we'll see where they go, boy. We'll see who they're able to convince to join and what type of project they're now going to try and embark on. So yeah, we'll see.
But yeah, so obviously it's the big breaking news. Erik Ten Hag has been sacked. He's finally gone. Obviously I think, like I said, a lot of United fans, we know that the first step was just getting him out, so that needed to happen. So yeah, I've been seeing a lot of talk about Amarin coming in, like that's been like highly speculated. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, and I'm sure like when the next manager is appointed, then like we'll have a full-on conversation about that. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Very quickly touching on the Man United game, obviously we lost to West Ham. Obviously that was the result that triggered this happening. And yeah, like just very quickly going through the game, I think first half United had a lot of chances. We weren't able to put the ball in the back of the net. We're quite wasteful. Second half, obviously, yeah, wasn't as good. West Ham go 1-0 up. United get the equalizer, and then obviously there was the penalty decision. Yeah, it wasn't a penalty. But yeah, ultimately it was given, and then West Ham got the 2-1 win. So yeah, I don't know if there's anything you wanted to add to that, bro.
Yeah, no, I guess just a highlight because yeah, Ten Hag deserved to go, but the players team, man, the finishing in that game was woeful. Like how you guys finished the first half without getting a goal is actually crazy because you guys were really peppering them. Garnacho, the Dallo miss, like yeah, these man actually cost Ten Hag his job in that game. Because I'm surprised. This is again one of those games where if you guys did what you needed to do, maybe you actually don't lose this because West Ham aren't great either. But then you gave West Ham a chance. Second half, they came out. They started moving to you, and then ultimately, probably a draw was probably a fair result in terms of the whole game. But yeah, stupid refereeing decisions again, incompetence. We'll get to that, but yeah, it's not surprising at this point, and it's just Premier League referees. So it's just a shame that the stakes were so high in this one. Unfortunately, I think I 1-1. He may still be here today, but unfortunately, you know, they had to cost us and give West Ham the win. So yeah, man, it's I guess end of an era. So yeah, that's really it. Nothing more to really add to it.
Yeah, no, I hear that. You froze a little bit for me, bro.
Oh yeah, you froze for me as well. So
yeah, I think I caught the end of what you said. So yeah, but yeah, moving on from one TwoUpFront team to the other. Obviously, Arsenal drew 2-2 with Liverpool at the Emirates, and yeah, bro, I thought it would be good if you can start us off with this one and let us know what your thoughts were on the game.
Yeah, I guess this was because I remember going into this game, I was so nervous, man. With all the potential players that were going to be out, we didn't know whether Saka was going to play, whether Timber was going to play. So yeah, the day before, seeing pictures of Saka and Timber, I still wasn't sure. I said Arteta is a madman. This guy could have them just in the training kit and still have no intention of starting them. So it was very nice to actually go into the game and see Saka start and see Timber start. And I'm like, cool, this gives us a chance now because Liverpool, this was a really they were a massive threat in this game based on how they've been playing so far this season, the form they're in. I think a lot of people, like we spoke about before the game, weren't even really giving Arsenal much hope, really, in terms of winning, especially with all the doubts and how good Liverpool have been so far this season. So, yeah, man, seeing Saka and Timber in the starting lineup was amazing. Then we get into the game. I think Liverpool start off quite well, but then we grow into it. And then, yeah, man, this Saka guy, I have to just pause and just say, yeah, this guy, amazing. The goal, the way he spun Robertson, the touch, the finish, the pass by Ben White as well, I think we have to touch on. But yeah, it was just an amazing kind of I guess way to start the game. Then unfortunately, something that's been happening to us recently is conceding set piece goals. We let Liverpool get back into it. Havertz gets caught. Diaz flicks it on. Van Dijk gets the goal. That was disappointing. I'm like, cool. I think we were still overall probably the better team in that first half. So I was still quite confident that we'd get another goal. Going to half time now. And then, yeah, the second half, I feel like we started dropping off, but then also the injury curse just cost us again, where Gabriel now goes off, Timber goes off. So again, I'm seeing the subs come on. I'm seeing Kivio. I'm seeing Lewis Skelly. So our defense just fell apart, bro. Imagine our defense in that game. Our back four was Ben White. We finished the game with Ben White, Partey right back, Kivio, and Lewis Skelly left back against Liverpool. So at that point, we were just hanging on to see if we could get the win. Unfortunately, we get caught on the counter attack. They equalize after we get our second goal through a beautiful cross by Declan Rice, man. His set piece delivery is actually also underrated. I think we touched on Saka's delivery, but yeah, I think Rice as well. We have to touch on the ball that he played in. I think he played one a bit earlier that Marino messed up that he should have finished, and then he did it again. And Marino did what he needed to do. I'm seeing a lot of talk of Marino already. I'm seeing people try to say he's on fraud watch. I said, this guy's like his second game in the Prem. Please, come on. Okay? Let's relax a little bit. But a good goal by him to get on and put us ahead. And then, yeah, Salah gets the equalizer. And then the controversy, I guess, at the end is the refereeing decision where Kivio goes up, wins the header, referee waits. Oh, he's dropping to Arsenal player. That's when he wants to now blow the whistle. So again, I think that's just them ones where we have VAR. Relax, let the goal go in. VAR gonna look at it, but he blew and now making it no longer a decision of whether that was a foul or not a foul. So just a disappointing end to the game. But overall, I can't complain, man. I'm very proud of the team as well because I know if the narrative was flipped and we were going against Liverpool with the injuries and what was happening during the game, there'll be a lot less grace in terms of us not getting the win. So I think for us to hold out and at least finish with a point, keeping the distance at 4 points, I'm very confident that now, when we start getting players back, I see Odegaard is back in training this week. Saka is looking good. Gabriel's injury apparently isn't too bad. So hopefully we start getting players back. I'm confident we can catch them still. So yeah, man, I think it was them games. It was a must not lose, but it was disappointing not to win. But I'm not mad at the draw based on everything that was going around the game. Like, I'm quite proud because if we weren't the team we were, we should have lost this game. I feel like based on Liverpool's quality and how they've been playing so far this season. So yeah, man, that's my kind of thoughts on the game. I don't know what you thought.
I thought it was a good game. I think it was a good game to watch. I think, like you said, like Saka, obviously that was the big question. Is he going to play? Is he not going to play? And he definitely stepped up. Like, I think that was like a great goal. Twisted Robinson and great finish. And I think when we talk about players at a certain level, and there's always discussions regarding Saka as regards to how good is he? Are we putting him at this level? Are we putting him at elite? Are we putting him at world class? And I think obviously big players, they step up in big moments, and I think that was definitely a big moment. And I think Arsenal needed him to step up, and he did. So great goal. I think Liverpool, obviously they get back into the game with the set piece. And it's funny because I think obviously we spoke about the Bournemouth game with their set piece, and I think this was like a good set piece by Liverpool as well. Whereas corner comes in, I think Diaz gets the flick, and then Van Dijk header, and then it's 1-1. And then obviously, like you mentioned, Declan Rice, that was a brilliant delivery, like spot on. And I think Marino, he had a good opportunity earlier before that, which he wasn't able to take. And then with this one, like really good finish. And then Arsenal are 2-1 up. And then as the game progresses in the second half, obviously you spoke about the injuries that occurred, and like Gabriel having to go off and Timber having to go off. And I think when I was watching it, I was definitely thinking, the equalizer's coming. Like, it's definitely, like I was quite confident that Liverpool are going to score here, because you could just see how it was going. Like Arsenal, they were getting pushed back. They were getting pushed back and back and back. And I think it was looking like it was only going to be a matter of time. And it's funny because I don't think Trent necessarily had his greatest game, but that was a wicked ball. And the execution of that goal was really good as well, because how like Nunes runs onto it, and then Salah like immediately makes the run into the box. Then obviously Nunes, good pass across, Salah finished 2-2. So like I think that was a good goal from Liverpool's perspective. And like I think it's an interesting one, because I think Liverpool fans, a lot of them, they will be happy with the point given the circumstances. And I think, from what I've seen, a lot of Arsenal fans are happy with the point given the circumstances. So it's an interesting one, like when we're talking about the table and the title race overall. Obviously, City are now 5 points clear. And we'll get on to City, but I think that's really interesting as well, because City haven't been playing that well at all. Like at all, they've really not hit their stride at all. Obviously, you spoke about injuries with Odegaard, and obviously Saliba missed that game. Spoke about Timber, Gabriel, but then obviously you're looking at City and you're looking at De Bruyne, obviously, and then obviously Rodri, who's out for the season. And I think for all of that to have happened, for them not to be playing that well, and for them to find themselves 5 points clear, is I think they'll be very happy with that. Like very, very happy with that. And I think from their perspective, that's the result they would have wanted. They would have wanted a draw. Like so I think Liverpool, I think they'll take the point away to the Emirates, getting a point. You've still got to go play them at Anfield, and they're still right up there as regards to like the table. So yeah, overall, like I think it's one of them ones where Liverpool would have just been very happy not to lose the game. And I felt like the goal was definitely coming. And then as regards to Arsenal, I understand what you're saying regarding the injury. I think it would have been massive if you could have won it. Like I think that would have been like massive if you were able to get the victory. Like that would have been like a big statement, but also just points wise, like it would have made a big difference. Obviously your schedule now, you've got Newcastle away, which they've not been the greatest this season, but typically that still can be on a normal season you'll be thinking going away to St. James's Park is a difficult game. We'll see how they perform here, and then obviously Chelsea as well after that. So I think where you're at is interesting because I think it's one of them ones where the point is obviously much better than, like, it's not a disaster, but I think the margin for error is very small now.
Yeah.
Like I think it's very small because again, it's not just about Liverpool, it's about City. And like City 5 points clear. I think the margin's very, very small, the margin for error. So like, and especially considering they've just not hit their stride at all and they've not lost the game. So overall, like, I understand what you're saying. Like I can appreciate that perspective regarding like being happy not to have lost it. But I do think that winning it would have been massive. So,
100%. But again, I think you find yourself in a position in the game where you're like, based on how weakened we are against a team this good, it would have been great, and we could have probably nicked it again. I don't know what you thought about whether you thought it was definitely a foul, with a kivvy or chance at the end. I don't know what your thoughts are.
I think it was harsh. I think it was, you know what it was? It's one of them ones where I think, interestingly, I think if he falls down, then I think it looks much more like a foul.
Yeah, the guy's even standing after.
But I think with how he's standing after and he's not really even appealing,
complaining. He knows he just got dumped on.
So I think it was just one of them ones where potentially like you just weren't really looking to challenge for the ball like that, and Kyrgios just wanted it more. You get me, and it in the air. Then obviously, ref blew the whistle, and I think it would have been good to just see things, like you said, like you can let things play out, and then afterwards, you can intervene. But that wasn't the case.
So that was disappointing. So I think that was a massive moment in the games. I think from my Arsenal's point of view, I think that definitely cost us, like you said, a big 3 points that we could have definitely got away with deservedly. I think we did play very well. I think Liverpool had a lot of the ball in the second half without really creating anything either. So it was even the goal that he scored, it came off the back of Martinelli losing it, and then, like you said, the Trent pass instantly. It was a really devastating counter attack. So again, man, we move, man. I agree with what you're saying about, I think City are definitely like the bigger concern, being 5 points off. But I do agree with Wendy here when I see her comment where she says, I might be speaking too soon, but I don't think City are going to put up crazy numbers this season. And I do kind of have that feeling too. I don't know why. Right now, based on I guess how teams have been playing, I think Liverpool was the one that if we had gotten 7 points behind them at this stage in the season, I'd be a lot less. Whereas 5 points, we see one game now, it's only 2. Like, it's not the end of the world, I feel like, from my point of view, because I still think even the games I've watched City this season, I don't think they're infallible right now. It could always change. You can now go and start flying. But if they continue playing how they're playing, they're also not going to just win every game from here. So it's not.
I think my thing with it, I think that's one way to look at it. I think my thing is that I think they're going to get better. Like I think we know how City finished the season. Like we know how they get in the second half of the season. And I think, the fact that they've been playing like how they've been playing, I think they've won 7, they've drew 2, they've not lost a game. And they've not been really good. So I think the fact that that's happened, and then like you said, you've got De Bruyne to come back. We'll see what they also do in January regarding getting some reinforcements for Rodri. I think that's concerning, because they've not been good. And City normally, like, they've known to like have results here or there earlier on in the season, and then we know how they finish the season. We know how they get when it's time to really click. And I think, yeah, the fact that they've not been playing well and they've just been picking up results, I think that's what I would be concerned about. Because, yeah, like, again, it's one of them ones where 5 points, again, it's not necessarily the end of the world. And like you said, oh, you know, if they lose a game, if they draw a game, then all of a sudden that gap quickly decreases. But also at the same time, like I said, the margin for error for Arsenal becomes incredibly small, because you lose a game now, they win, then it's 8 points.
Yeah,
do you get
no,
me?
I agree
like,
with that.
Yeah, and now
we can't lose. We can't lose again. Like, I think between now and the end of the year, we need to. It can't grow more than 5 points.
Yeah, like it's getting really tight. I think that's the thing. So it's like, yeah, and obviously the Premier League is like, you know, there's no guarantees in the Premier League as regards to, like, you know, what is an easy fixture or what isn't an easy fixture. But yeah, like, I think Arsenal's games that are coming up, yeah, they're extremely important, because yeah, I don't think you can afford to be dropping points in them.
No, I agree.
Yeah, like, I don't think you can afford to do that. So yeah, like, I think it's gonna be interesting as regards to like the title overall. I think that's gonna be an interesting conversation. But yeah, like, overall, one thing I'll say, what do you think about some of the people who have been critical regarding Arteta's approach in that second half? Do you think it was just a thing where it's just like, you know what, because of the injuries, there was nothing else we could do? Like, is that your point of view of it? Or do you think that he could have changed his approach and that Arsenal did invite pressure?
Yeah, again, man, I feel like some of these ex-footballers, they talk and you just realize why they all failed as managers, because it's so easy to be sitting there and looking and saying, yeah, man, mentality, they should have gone and pushed. Bro, I said we finished the game with a back four of Partey, White, Kivio, and Lewis Skelly against Liverpool with their strong. That's like they had a very strong team too. We're also stupid. We can lose that game now. And the same people that are saying, oh, the approach was negative, they'll then say, oh, the mentality, they shouldn't have lost the game. So the bar will always, I feel like, shift to fit the narrative. For me, I feel like, yeah, it was, even I think Saka came out and said that we're a bit disappointed with ourselves in the second half, which I hear. Like, we could have also done a bit more to maybe get the win. But I think you see the context. I'm seeing the players. I'm seeing Gabriel and Saliba are starting back too, just not on the pitch anymore towards the end of the game. I'm like, yeah, I can't now be sitting here saying, nah, man, we should have been pushing to get that next goal. And we also very easily, like we said, with that foul that I don't think was a foul, won anyway. So the margins are that small where it's very results based. So again, these ex-footballers, they should please go back into management and show us what you should be doing in it. Because when they did manage, it clearly didn't work out for a lot of them. So I just think it's very easy to be talking about the mentality after the fact. Like, so that's my take on it. Like, okay, I think it's not ideal, but I think you look at the circumstances, and then you have to also be fair on the circumstances. Like, what happened during the game. So yeah, that's my take.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
No, because I saw a lot of people. I saw a couple Arsenal fans as well saying that they thought that like Arteta should have like changed his approach a little bit. So I was interested to hear your thoughts on it. Because like, I've seen the differing opinions when it comes to, you know, the injuries that occurred and obviously how the game played out. And so it was interesting to hear that take. But ultimately, a point, like I said, not necessarily the worst point in the world, but I think it does leave like quite a small margin for error now. So like, it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next few weeks, and to see how results play out. And Liverpool, just a quick word on them. How concerned are you with like about Liverpool? Did that game make you think, oh, you know what, like, I'm less concerned, I'm more concerned? Like, what were your feelings after that match? Because I think some Liverpool fans as well, they also made a point of, you know, them missing some players as well, Jota, Alisson, like so what's your opinions on that?
I'm a bit less concerned about Liverpool, just because again, even before this game, I've always felt like how they kind of deal with the second half of the season too is going to be much more interesting to me, because they've started off really well, but I don't know if that squad depth is really there like that either. Like I think a couple more injuries, and I feel like they probably will fall off a bit more. So yeah, again, it was a good perform, like not good performance, but I feel like with them too. But this is also maybe I don't know if because I think I've heard your take, but I don't know if maybe I'm being a bit harsh. But I also felt like there should be more on Liverpool to have also gone to win that game. I think there's more talk on Arsenal not doing enough, but I think the context, I think it was a bigger game where Liverpool could have also gone and just killed us and also ended our title race and shown that they're really serious. So I think there's also that element too, where like they probably should have also done a bit more, in my opinion, based on the circumstances.
Where do you think they should have done a bit more?
I'd say definitely that second half now, when they're now getting on the ball a lot more and Arsenal players are just dropping. I feel like they should have actually gone on to do what they needed to do to win the game too. Like I feel like, in my opinion, like I think we were there for the taking based on the circumstances.
I think,
but you know what I don't like too? I don't like when like before the game everyone is so confident. Yes, Liverpool, they're playing so, and then after the game now, it's oh yeah, good point for Liverpool. Like it's like I feel like there should have been more kind of expectation on them too to have come with us as wounded as we were to do more. Is my opinion. So,
I hear you, but I think approach wise they were positive. Like I think the approach as regards to maybe like creating clear cut chances, then I think that's a different discussion. But I think like they did build pressure, and like I said, I think when I was watching it, I thought like a goal's coming. Like like I could see it. I was like like I don't think Arsenal are going to be able to hold out here.
Yeah, I also think we could have got third as well. We also should have. Like we got into good positions when we were 2-1 up as well that we didn't capitalize on in the end. Another player I want to give a quick shout out to that I just remember this Trossard, because he's been really stinky recently, but I think he had a really good game. Like I think in midfield he was picking up the ball and he was spraying some nice passes out wide to Martinelli and Saka. So I wanted to quickly give him a shout out. So yeah, man. Overall, I guess both teams won't be too mad, but yeah.
And also, I think the pressure is always going to be, because obviously Slot's come in and it's his first season. And we've spoken about the transfer window and etc. So I think the pressure is going to be more on Arsenal because one, obviously you're at home, and two, because of the context of the two previous title races, like that's just always how it's going to play out. Whereas Slot, he's come in his first season, new group of players, and obviously in a lot of people's eyes, I think in a lot of Liverpool fans' eyes, they're like exceeding the expectations. Like, so I think that's why like there's going to be more pressure on Arsenal in this current climate. That's I think that's where a lot of it's going to be, because I think ultimately like when going into the season, most people had City and Arsenal as their top two. Like, so I think Liverpool now, obviously, they're doing very well. I think we've spoken about their number 6 position and, like how that was a major concern. And then Gravenberch has come and he's been brilliant this season. And Slot's come and he's done a magnificent job this season. So they're really performing like over a lot of people's expectations. And I think, that's kind of like why the narrative is slightly going to be different, like for Arsenal and in comparison to Liverpool. Wendy just said here, also another thing is that once every few years Pep takes a season off, this might be it. That's going to be interesting to see. Like I said, they've not played very well, but they carry on winning. Like, and Pep as well, like I just can't underestimate that guy, man. Like I think he has a way of motivating players, and like, I think last season it was the whole 4 in a row thing. Like I'm sure he'll be able to motivate them to say, 5 in a row, etc. Like I even saw, like a lot of like the great people in sports, they find ways of motivating themselves. Like I remember Michael Jordan, like I remember watching the documentary and it was talking about Michael Jordan and how, sometimes he'll make up scenarios in his head. Like this player said this, and that's what's going to motivate him on that night to do the madness because like he's motivated himself. So he's literally Michael Jordan's literally there creating false scenarios in his head in order to motivate himself. And I think a lot of great athletes, great sports people, they're able to take things and they're able to flip it and use it as motivation. And I think earlier in the season, when we saw the quotes coming from Pep, when he was basically saying, oh, like if they want a war, they can have a war. I think, like he was using a lot of the quotes that were coming from Arsenal and, you know, the players and the manager. I think he was using a lot of that as motivation. And I'm pretty sure he will be telling these players, like, you know what, this is what they're saying. This is what they think. This is what they believe. Like, you need to show them. So I can't ever underestimate Pep because I think, like, I think he will know how to motivate his players. But and I blame Martinelli for the Liverpool goal. Yeah, there's been a lot of talk amongst the Arsenal fan base regarding Martinelli. How do you think he performed before we move on? And obviously, like how much blame do you give to him as regards to that second Liverpool goal?
I don't think it was his greatest game. Like I think he's been up and down. I think he was definitely a lot better in the first half than he was in the second. Like just most of our players. But yeah, it was a mistake. He lost the ball, but I still think from those moments, a lot still has to happen for the goal to go in. So as much as like he directly lost the ball leading to the goal, it's like Trent picks it up and he launches the ball forward. And there's so much that happens after it that I can't put it all on him because again, he's a winger. You want him to go at his man and try. So every now and then you're gonna lose the ball. I don't think that's but yeah, he didn't have the greatest game, and I was expecting more from him in this game. But so yeah, we move.
Okay, first. And yeah, that was Arsenal 2-2 Liverpool. So yeah, I thought very quickly, bro, we are going to go and discuss the next game, but I thought it would be interesting to just quickly talk about everything that is being said or the news that is breaking regarding the Ballon d'Or. And, you know, the news, obviously, like we'll wait and see what actually happens because I was even seeing some more news where people were trying to say, oh, you know what, like it might be a pump fake. And like, do you get me? But the major news which has been breaking is that Rodri is in line to win the Ballon d'Or and not Vinicius Jr., which many people were expecting to win the Ballon d'Or. Do you think that's fair? Do you agree with the decision? Like, what are your thoughts on it?
It's them decisions, right? Like I remember before we even knew who was like leaning towards. I from the very early said I think you should go to Rodri because I think sometimes too, man, we're too biased to attacking players. Where sometimes too, the guy in the middle of the pitch that's really dictating and an integral part of a team that's sometimes as successful as C have been over the last year or two. I think they need to get a lot more shine than when it's just a exciting winger or the exciting striker that's always winning the Ballon d'Or. So, but then when it then became, oh yeah, it looks like Vinicius is going to win it, I was like, okay, yeah, fair enough. Like, it's not like I felt, oh, it's like Rodri's being robbed. So it was like, I think it's them decisions that could go either way. So if Rodri wins it, I think fair. If Vinicius wins it, I think fair. I think that's my honest opinion. I don't feel strongly about either player winning it because I think Vinicius has also been really good. Like, so it would shock me either. So yeah, I don't know what you think, whether you lean more to someone who should win it.
I think ultimately, sometimes I think it's a thing where sometimes it's like the criteria regarding the Ballon d'Or and like what's needed to win it, which I think is often like the big discussion point because it seems to sometimes like just change. And yeah, obviously Vinny, like in the big moments last season, he stepped up in the Champions League, like scored in the final, like he was there when they needed him to step up. And like obviously he was the major influence behind Real Madrid winning the Champions League. And obviously they won the league as well. And like he had a great season. Rodri, we've spoken about Rodri a lot. We know how important he is to City. And like even his stats, like GA wise, like they actually were good last season as well. So and we've spoken about how he's one of them number sixes, if you want to say that, who they can do everything. Like, yeah, like he's a destroyer, he's a playmaker, like his range of passing is great. He can get big goals. He's got a good strike on him. He's a leader. He's physically imposing. Like, yeah, like all round, he seems to be like your ideal defensive midfielder, again, if you want to call him that. So, yeah, like I think Rodri is a magnificent player as well. I've seen some people talk about like the season prior and saying, you know what, that would have been a better shout for him. Like when they won the treble, and obviously he scored the Champions League winning goal. And yeah, some people have mentioned that and said that would have been a better shout for him. And yeah, like this season, it should have went to Vinny. Obviously, last season, Rodri, he got the title, so City won 4 in a row, and obviously the Euros as well. Even though he did have to, you know, he weren't able to play the whole match, he did have to come off in that match. But yeah, obviously for Spain, just in the tournament, like obviously he was an important player for them as well. So yeah, like I think Rodri's a great player, and yeah, like it's very interesting what Wendy says here. Like, I'm firmly in the camp of non-attacking players should not win the Ballon d'Or. That counts out all centre backs and DMs.
I guess Trent's never winning it, boy.
Everyone else could be up for consideration. He tucks his shirt in, man. That alone should disqualify him. Yeah, I think, you know what it is? I think these awards, they definitely like do have a bias towards the attacking players. Like, yeah, because you know what, like, you know, there's the cliche thing of like the hardest thing in football is to put the ball in the back of the net. And, you know, often people will come and pay to see the attacking players. Like, people don't really come and pay often to see the defenders. Like, do you get me? Like, when we're talking about the entertainment and stuff, and, you know, the players who excite you, a lot of that is tailored towards watching the attacking players. So yeah, but that's not to say that, you know, a defensive midfielder isn't also extremely important. So yeah, I think it's one of them ones where, like, I think the criteria is just weird, because I thought that Vinny would have had this tied up, like based on, you know, like what but the Ballon d'Or can also be weird sometimes, so who would have known? But yeah, like it's an interesting one. Like obviously when everything
also, I don't know if
gets
you've
announced.
seen, there's been some more news too that Vinicius might also be winning. So I don't know, because people are saying there was like a leaked list that's been right so far.
Yeah, that's what I said earlier, bro. When I said the pump fake.
Yeah. So boy,
that's what I was mentioning earlier when I said it might be a pump fake, because news was coming out again saying that Vinny still might win it. So yeah, that's what I was referring to.
Wait, did you know if Real Madrid actually traveled there? I know there was the whole Madrid.
They were saying that they weren't going to travel, yeah. But then after that, that's what I'm saying. Then that people were saying that, oh, you know what, it might be a pump fake. So yeah, like we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I thought that whole conversation will be interesting, and I think when it officially gets announced, then we can talk about it some more as well. So yeah, but obviously two great players, and yeah, like I do think sometimes, yeah, like players who play in Rodri's position, they do sometimes get dismissed, just because of the position that they play in. But also, yeah, like I think a lot of the time people like there's a bias towards the attacking players, and yeah, like people want to be entertained. And yeah, Vinny had a great season. Like he did have a great season. And so yeah, we'll see. But yeah, bro, moving on to, you know, we've just been speaking about players who, you know, like they like to entertain, and players who can, you know, make fans excited and get people on the edge of their seats. And yeah, man, I think someone who has been discussed a lot this season is Cole Palmer. And again, he was extremely influential in Chelsea's 2-1 win against Newcastle. So yeah, like I watched the game, and yeah, man, like he was just balling out. Like he
Yeah,
was
he's
balling out.
ridiculous, man. He's actually
Yeah,
ridiculous.
he was balling out. And that
Yeah.
pass for the first goal, and this is why I say, yeah, like I hear the whole thing regarding penalties last season and stats and this and that and whatever the case may be. And I hear the thing as regards to, you know, some players, it's like the stats can be inflated, but this doesn't apply to Palmer, like, because take away the stats, take away the penalties, take away all of that, bro. I've got eyes. I just watch him, bro. This guy is a baller. Like he is, yeah, he's supremely talented. And yeah, that pass for that first goal that released Neto was disgusting. Like it was disgusting. And yeah, that isn't going to be an assist. It isn't a goal. So yeah, like forget even G&A. Like just watch the game and you'll see how talented this guy is. And yeah, that was a brilliant ball. Obviously, Neto lays it on the plate for Jackson, and Jackson gets the goal. And then yeah, obviously Chelsea previous to that, Cole Palmer scored. It was narrowly offside in that goal as well. I think it was a great play by Jackson initially as well. Like, yeah, like he's someone who's really performing well. And yeah, I think we've spoken about him a lot as regards to, you know, him receiving these flowers and yeah, just giving him credit. But yeah, I think he's starting to, we've already spoke about his overall play and how good he is, like, and you know the good things that he does, but obviously a big thing was his finishing. And I think yeah, like he is starting to put the ball in the back of the net, like, and you know if he's able to do that on a consistent basis, then you've got a really good player. So yeah, man, like Jackson goal, I think Chelsea, they were doing their thing, they were looking good. Then obviously Newcastle get the equalizer, and we spoke about Isak and you know him needing to step up for Newcastle. And yeah, he does get the equalizer, and I think that was big for them, especially with Gordon being out. And yeah, like they really needed that. And he also had another chance, which I'll mention later. So yeah, because I think that was interesting. But yeah, I think you know what, like it was really like a testing moment for Chelsea, because it was like, okay, you know what, you've played quite well, and then boom, Newcastle are back in the game. What are you going to do? And then obviously, yeah, man, like second half, Palmer, you know, he just says, "Let me have a shot." I think Pope should have done better. Yeah, I think he should have done better. But yeah, like again, like, I think Palmer like just gets it out of his feet, like goes through it, and again makes the difference. And circling back to what I was just saying, Isak, I think he has a good chance where, yeah, like he just does a bit too much.
Yeah, he did
Yeah,
way
like he
too much.
overdoes it. Like, yeah,
Way
he
too
just
much.
overdoes it. And I think
Yeah.
that was his problem. Like he just overdoes it there. And I think that's effectively what costed him. But yeah, ultimately, good win for Chelsea. Obviously, after the 2-1 defeat to Liverpool, I think it was important that they responded. And yeah, they did. And interestingly, again, Maresca went with Caicedo and Lavia in that midfield, and Enzo was on the bench again. So yeah, like it's going to be interesting to see how he pursues with the midfield moving forward. And obviously as well, like he started Neto on the flank. So yeah, like it'll be interesting to see whether, you know, Sancho comes back into that position, or whether, you know, he wants to pursue with Neto. And obviously there's Felix, there's you know, they've got a variety of attacking options, so it'll be interesting selection wise what Maresca wants to do. But yeah, what were your thoughts on the game, bro?
Yeah, nah, to echo your words, man. Yeah, now Palmer, yeah, he's definitely the truth, man. Like that pass was nasty. I mean, there was a moment too where he like flicked on the ball. I think I can't remember like exactly what it led to, but I remember just thinking, like, yeah, this guy technically he's just so clean, he's so good, and yeah, it was a good finish by him as well. I agree. Probably should have done better, but I think Palmer strikes the ball really well as well. Like he has that finish on lock. Like he actually is quite clinical. So yeah, no, fair play to Chelsea, man. Like I think it was a tough game going into it. I thought Newcastle would give them a tougher match than it ended up being. But yeah, Chelsea definitely. I think they definitely deserved to win in the end. And I think Newcastle, the way they approached it surprised me, because I felt they were going to be more defensively solid and try play more similarly to how Nottingham Forest played them. But they were playing very aggressive, trying to press them. And I think Chelsea were just cutting them open. I guess the only issue with Chelsea is, again, I still feel like they'll always give you an opportunity in that game. So as good as they were, Newcastle could have definitely punished them in the end, but luckily for them, like you said, Isak, I think he did way too much in that moment. He should have just passed it, but I think he saw the lights. He thought, this could be a nice finish if I pull this off, but it was too greedy in that moment. So no, man, fair play to Chelsea, man. It was a tough game, but they bounced back from the Liverpool match, and they did what they needed to do. So they're actually looking like a very good team right now. So that battle for fourth between them and Villa is going to be very, very interesting, because they're looking like they're consistently putting together good performances. Interested to see Enzo on the bench again. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, like, I guess, as we go on, whether he can find his way back into the team or Lavia is just taking that position now. And fair play to Maresca as well, man, because that was one thing we were talking about. Will he have the confidence to actually drop Enzo with all the money that Chelsea have invested into him? And he has. And he's going at me too, man. I saw his comments before the game too, saying that Chelsea don't have any leaders. And saying,
spoke about Reece James.
Bro, he said, you can get there, but you're not there yet. And I was like, you know what? I said fair play. Like, fair play for you to be saying that about Reece. So, he's definitely confident, and he's backing it right now with performances. So, fair play to Chelsea. It's a good win.
Big win for Chelsea. Just very quickly going through some of these comments. When he said, this is about the Ballon d'Or. Trent is an attacking right back. He qualifies.
That's favorite.
Hey man, Trent's a special player, man. I hear it. I hate Chelsea, but I'm happy for Jackson. I hope Mikel calls this.
Yeah, man. You got fire up his back, bro.
Yeah, nah, man. I rate. You know what it is? I think Jackson, he's one of them players as well, where it's like you can tell it looks like he's got like the right attitude, like he's hungry to prove people wrong. Like, like he's not someone who's gonna be sitting there like, like just feeling sorry for himself. Like he looks like someone's like, cool, you know what? I'm gonna show you guys that you're wrong about me. And fair play to him, man. Like fair play to him, because I think even just that Palmer Jackson link up is looking strong. Like even them two, like they're looking like they've got quite good football chemistry. Like, so I think that's making a lot of sense for Chelsea as well. So yeah, man, Chelsea look good. Then just looking here, one of these days the stream needs a segment on Forest and my guy Nuno. Hey man, Forest, just very quickly, I'll quickly speak about them. Forest are doing their thing. And I think Chris Wood, the man of the moment. I don't know if you're able to see his obviously he scored 2 against Leicester, but his first goal, his strike, like serious, man. Yeah, serious, man. Serious. Like, he's like, a lot of people have said this as well. He's almost like a throwback striker. Like, do you get me? Like your Barclays number 9. Like, do you get me? Like, he's proper. He's a proper centre forward who, he's gonna get stuck in, but also he's got more technical ability than I think a lot of people give him credit for. And man, he's really doing his thing. And like he's got Forest playing.
Yeah, man. They have a good team, man.
Yeah, they're difficult to beat, they're difficult to break down, and attacking wise, they've got players
they have
that
behind
can
him
hurt
as
you.
well.
Yeah, like they've got players that can definitely hurt you. So they
proved a lot of people wrong. I know some people had them going down, and they're looking very far away from that. So fair play to them, man.
They're doing their thing, 100% doing their thing. Moving on very quickly, I think it would be nice to, even just because we spoke about City earlier, so it'd be nice to quickly speak about City. Were you able to catch anything of the City game against Southampton?
I didn't watch the game, but I've seen the highlights.
Cool.
Yeah, and I've also heard the narrative, because I have overall heard that City weren't great in this game, and I think from even what I saw in terms of the number of chances they were able to create, and it looked like they didn't manage to create very much. I guess they get an early goal through Haaland. I don't know what you thought about that. I saw some people saying, "Hey man, Ramsdale should have done better."
Yeah, I think he should have done better.
Yeah, Bears. So yeah, they get that early goal, and then even they almost did their customary, you know what I'm saying, give the opposition a goal as well. Archer, when it's Arsenal, he wants to be clinical, but in this game, he went to I think he hit the post or crossbar, he shot. So yeah. So yeah, no, but yeah, overall it looked like City got over the line without looking great. I think everyone thought it was gonna be a very comfortable win against Southampton, but it looked like they kind of just scraped over the line in the end. So they did what they needed to do, but it definitely sounds, from what I've heard and seen, that it wasn't a great game.
Yeah. I think, to be fair, City did have like chances. Like Haaland definitely should have scored more than once.
Yeah, I saw his second one too.
Yeah,
he should have got
he should have. Yeah, like he definitely should have scored more than once. So I think on another day, City could have scored more. But yeah, like ultimately, like I was saying earlier, they don't look completely convincing. And I think there's two ways you can look at it. You can either look at it and think, you know what, this is a good sign, and ultimately they're not going to be able to keep this up, and it is going to catch up to them. Or you can look at it and you can think, you know what, this is a bad sign because they're not playing well, and they've won 7 games out of 9 and they've drawn 2 and they've not lost any. And ultimately, when De Bruyne comes back, when things start ticking, then they're going to step it up a level, and that spells trouble for the Premier League. So yeah, I think it depends how you want to look at it. Like you can look at it either way, but time will tell. But yeah, they've not played well, but ultimately top of the table. Like I said, 7 wins out of 9, no losses. Like they're not mad. I know City fans definitely won't be mad at where they are points wise. But yeah, performance wise, I think they definitely do need to step it up as well. Foden's not been able to really hit his stride. Obviously, like regarding him starting, there's been like it looks like a reluctance from Pep for whatever reason to put him in there. And yeah, obviously he was able to start against Southampton. And yeah, like we saw what Foden did last season. And like when we're talking about players of a certain level, it's about replicating like season in, season out. And not necessarily replicating exactly what you did, but replicating like a certain level over an entire season in, season out. And I think that's Foden's challenge now, because I think last season he really picked up the keys and he said, you know what, like, yeah, when De Bruyne's out, I'm going to step up. Like, and he was a match winner for them. And he was really, really doing his thing. And yeah, this season, obviously, he's not been starting. He's not been performing great. And I think Pep will give him a run of games. I think it will happen. And I think there he's really got to like show like why he was the player of the season last season. Like I think he's got to step up. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Foden. And yeah, I think even Haaland as well. I think De Bruyne coming back will be really important for them, because I think it just really has a big effect on Haaland. Like, yeah, I think the way De Bruyne can put it on the plate for Haaland is mad. And so, yeah. But yeah, bro. And Wendy just said confirmed Real Madrid are not at the Ballon d'Or ceremony. So,
boy,
yeah,
it's looking like it's probably gonna be Rodri, because they probably know what we don't know. Let's see. It'd be funny if Vinicius does win it though, and he's not there. That would be funny.
Yeah. So yeah, moving on quickly, and yeah, man. Like I know, obviously, you've been bigging up one of your boys, hoping that he was able to come through. And obviously he got his move to Palace, but it wasn't him that was able to get the goal. It was the man from the second half of last season who was stepping up for Palace, and that's Mateta. And yeah, man, Crystal Palace beat Tottenham 1-0 at Selhurst Park. And yeah, I think for Palace, that's a massive result for them, because yeah, they've been awful. And sorry, Wendy, we can't skip the segment. We've got to talk about it. Yeah, apologies. But yeah, man, Palace, it was actually a much better performance, man. Like much better performance. Eze's flick.
I didn't even see it, until I saw the highlight afterwards.
Eze's flick for Mateta's goal was brilliant. Like that was a brilliant flick. And yeah, it's one of them ones where it's like it's very easy to miss. And then yeah, like you watch it again and you're like, oh, that was brilliant. So yeah, and yeah, Palace overall, like I think they played well, and Tottenham, they just didn't really look at it. Like, yeah, they didn't look at it at all. Like, I think, yeah, like they would be really disappointed with that performance, I believe. Yeah, I think they didn't. Several players just didn't perform to the levels that they're capable of, and it was definitely like just an overall bad day at the office. But yeah, I don't know if you have any opinions on that one, bro.
Yeah, no. I guess, like you said, I think Palace played the game perfectly. Like, I felt like they were really aggressive in their press on Spurs too. They just were in their faces, didn't let them. Yeah, in their faces. They didn't give them a moment to kind of play their football. And yeah, they really. I think this was an example of dominating a game without the ball. And I think that's what Palace did to Spurs in this one, where they let Spurs have the ball in the positions that they were happy for them to have the ball in. And then once he came over that halfway line, they were there. Like, so I think it was a really, really good performance from Palace, much better than what we've seen from them this season. Like you said, yeah, Mateta was there to get the goal, and yeah, no, fair play to him, man, because I think overall what I've been seeing from Palace and my kind of general opinions on them is just that they just lack quality. Like, it looks like in the final third, like the final decision, they've just lacked it. But in this occasion, yeah, Eze did what he needed to do. And yeah, that was a real moment of quality. They probably should have even won the game a lot more comfortably than they won in the end. But yeah, no, fair play to them. A big performance and a big points for them. And then yeah, from the Spurs side, yeah, I think they were really poor. Like you said, I think there's not really any players I can really think that actually had a good game from a Spurs side. Very quickly, obviously not to highlight him at all, but this is also why we say when you put too much pressure on young players as well, like Mikey Moore, because obviously he started after the really good performance in Europe, and it was just a typical like game from a young player where he's just not very effective, and I think that's gonna happen. So again, I think it's the flip side of fans too that maybe are trying to rush a process maybe a bit quicker than maybe that player is ready for. But we'll see. It was one game, but it was just a little kind of, I guess, in those moments where you're just like, oh yeah, this is an example of where you can also put too much reliance or expectation on a player that maybe isn't ready for it. So, but yeah, no, overall, Ange too, man, he's actually under a lot of pressure right now. Cause I think their next two games are Man City and Villa, and then he go away to Galatasaray, who haven't lost a game this season so far in the Turkish league. So that their next 3 games are going to be massive because they. Like in terms of their points to games tally so far, like we've spoken about since the first 10 games of last year, it hasn't been great. So it's gonna be interesting to see, like, if that pressure does mount, if they don't turn it around very quickly in these next top few games that they have like ahead of them. So yeah, be interesting to keep an eye on because we already lost Ten Hag, and I don't want to lose Angie either. So hopefully he's able to turn it around.
Hold on, what do you mean by that?
I'm trolling.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Don't want to expand?
Hey, no, I don't want to expand.
Okay, cool. Just checking. But yeah, a couple of comments here. Leave Mikey alone, please. The whole team was poor. Yeah, to be fair, I think there was several. I wouldn't read too much. For that specific game. I understand the overall point you're making, where it's like, you know what, it can be a lot of pressure for like, you know, a young player to be like put into a game of that intensity. But yeah, I don't think it was a game where it was just like, oh, you know what, like Spurs were playing well, but then you know the ball went to him, and then he was the specific player who was letting the team down. Like I think it was just an overall bad performance, and there were several bad performances there. So yeah, like it'll be interesting to see how many more Premier League games he plays, and yeah, I think we just need a bigger sample size. But yeah, when he said, especially since I haven't really seen Spurs fans calling for him to play, Ange is under no pressure. Do you think that, Wendy?
Yeah,
do you think Ange is under no pressure? Like, yeah,
I think he should be. But not to get sacked, by the way, but just that the run of form has been really poor from Spurs, like in terms of the overall points. But yeah, he's not. I agree that he's not getting sacked anytime soon. But I think he should be under pressure. It shouldn't just be a whatever thing, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm not.
It'll be interesting. Yeah, it'll be interesting to hear like, what Spurs fans think. So yeah, that was insightful, Wendy, because like I said, we're not Spurs fans, so like it'll be interesting to see what the discussions are amongst the Spurs fan base as regards to Ange. And yeah, like also what would be considered a good season for Spurs. I think we briefly spoke about it before, but yeah, like obviously as the season goes on, like ambitions are continuously like reviewed. So it'll be interesting to see, yeah, like what would be considered a successful season for Spurs. And even on that, yeah, Ade just said here, I think they have to beat City. I can't lie. Trophy is critical this season. And yeah, that's gonna be an important game, the cup game against City, because yeah, I think Spurs, yeah, man, a trophy's needed. A
Hey
trophy is
man,
definitely
they might
needed.
be okay. Pep is already coming out saying he's gonna rest players in that game because the fixtures and so.
Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I think just yeah, sometimes like when there's like just the like a hoodoo and this kind of this thing of just like, oh, you know what, Spurs haven't won a trophy, Spurs haven't won a trophy. I think sometimes it's just one of them ones where it's like you just want to get it out of the way, like kind of just like you just want that to not be a thing no more, like kind of get over that slump. And yeah, I think sometimes that opens new doors and you're able to progress. So yeah, I think it is big for Tottenham this season if they could win a trophy. Like I think that would be like pivotal. And yeah, if it is winning the Europa, then I think that would be big. Obviously, the Europa League, like I think, is a really good competition. Like I've always said that. And obviously it's not the Champions League at all. But yeah, like I think it's not an easy competition to win, as Arsenal will know. But yeah, like it's gonna be interesting to see if Spurs are able to get a trophy, win the Europa League, if they're able to, kind of finally get over that hurdle. So yeah, important. Yeah, that City game is really important, I believe. It'll be interesting to see when you're talking about Pep resting players. It'll be interesting to see what Ange decides to do lineup wise. Like, how strong is he gonna go? So yeah, man. So yeah, we'll see. And yeah, man, just very quickly, because I think a couple people obviously like, yeah, they joined into the live, and obviously, yeah, man, Ade says glory, glory, Man United. And guys, it's not been an easy couple of years, man. There's been a lot of things that we've had to endure. There's been a lot of things that we've had to see. There's been some good moments, the cup finals wins, but there's also been some horrific moments. 7-0 Liverpool, not been great at all. And yeah, ultimately, like I'm just speaking to the United fans right now. I think, like I said earlier, sometimes it's a thing where you've got to deal with one problem at a time. And I think it was very clear to see that Ten Hag was a problem. So there's loads of discussions regarding who's going to replace him. There's discussions regarding the wider problems with Man United. And of course, getting rid of Ten Hag doesn't all of a sudden fix everything. But I think it was crucial that we did get rid of him, because I think that was the first step for United as regards to progression. And yeah, we could mess this up going on. Like, we could mess this up from here. Like, hopefully we don't. I know obviously a lot of rival fans will be hoping that we do. And you know what? We get a manager who's unserious, and then things are continuing to regress. But one thing I would say to United fans is that I think, obviously I fully understand the happiness regarding Ten Hag going. But I think we've got to really be careful as regards to expectations moving forward, because yeah, I don't think this is going to be like a smooth road. It's going to be a bumpy road. And I think there's a lot of things that need to happen, and there's a lot of changes that need to be made. But like I said, some people, they were using that as an excuse for the manager. And two things can be true at the same time. You can have a manager who's clearly out of his depth, and you can have wider problems. And I think Manchester United had both. We had a manager who was out of his depth, and we had wider problems. And like I said, sometimes you've got to do things one step at a time. And Erik Ten Hag needed to go. So yeah, man, like I am very happy about the news. And not to get onto him, but just because I care about my football club and I want us to progress. And I think it was very clear to see that he needed to go in order for us to progress. And personally, I've said it, he should have went a long time ago. And I think that's where I will be critical of Ineos, because I think they shouldn't have let it get this bad before they pulled the trigger. Like, I think this is something that they should have done And I think they should have been bold and said, you know what, we need to change manager. And I think they've kind of waited and waited and waited and waited. Obviously, there was heavy speculation prior to the international break. They didn't do it. And they've waited for this to happen. And now they've said, okay, you know what? We're going to get rid of him. And I think, yeah, they needed to be like more proactive and they should have made a decision earlier. But yeah, as regards to United, it doesn't solve all of our problems. I think we've got to be realistic. It's going to be bumpy. There's going to be a lot of changes. There's going to be times which aren't so great. There's going to be times which hopefully are encouraging and much better. But yeah, we needed to do this. And I think, yeah, there's a fine line between, you know, getting carried away, but also acknowledging that this is a good thing. And I think sometimes it's one of them ones where, like, you know what, like you can get overly excited regarding a decision and then expect that decision to change everything. And that's not necessarily going to be the case. But also, I think what can happen is that things are a little bit bumpy later on, and then people are now like, oh, you know what? See, that didn't change anything. And it's like, no, regardless of what happens, like I think it was clear that Ten Hag needed to go. And I think that's where the happiness of United fans arrive. And like Ace has pointed out, where the sadness of a lot of rival fans are like, that's the reason why a lot of rival fans are sad, because I think it was clear to rival fans and it was clear to United fans that Ten Hag wasn't the manager to take Manchester United forward. So yeah, man, like I think ultimately needed to happen. And yeah, like happy it's happened. It's a relief. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens moving forward. Obviously, there's a lot of decisions to be made. And yeah, man, like we'll see. And of course, like I mentioned, hey, we'll see what teams do what. Do you get it? We'll see what teams do what, because it's very easy to, you know, talk about certain things and look at other teams and, you know, want to make sure that everyone's held accountable here. So we'll see what happens in the future. And Ace knows me, man. I'll be there waiting. Let me just give Wendy's comment first. Wendy said, I think Ace thinks Andrew's under pressure because he watches these negative Spurs fan channels, but they aren't representative of the overall fan base. And they said, you guys couldn't have waited till December 4th to sack him. But yeah, man, nah. I've seen a lot of rival fans say that as well. That, oh man, I'll see the Chelsea fans saying, oh, they couldn't just wait just one more before he think, bro, you're muted.
But yeah, no, were you like surprised? I think you touched on it, but because did you expect after that West Ham result? Because I thought they would give him Chelsea, bro. Like it was.
No, I didn't expect. Yeah. I told you, like, you obviously, like, I was being serious when I was giving my account. Like, when the result happened on Sunday, again, I didn't hear anything which was profound regarding him losing his job. And the results have been really bad. Like, they've been bad. So I just looked at it and thought, you know what? Since I've not heard anything profound, he lives to fight another day. Like, and yeah, man, like, it's just one of them ones where it's just like, I just felt like he was just, it was so weird because it was just like, and I think this is what was filling a lot of rival fans with joy, because it just seemed like this guy can just do anything. And he was just going to beat the charges. Like, he was just consistently beating the charges. Like, and yeah, like I said, I went to Old Trafford and I saw my team get embarrassed by Tottenham. And he said, it didn't happen. I deny it, because of a red card decision, which we watched the match. It didn't have an influence on how bad we were playing. Like, if anything, after the red card decision, a lot of United fans think we played better. So everything he's saying is just like, it's completely just nonsense. Like, and I think, yeah, man, the gaslighting, the spiraling in the press conferences, like all of these things, like it was pointing towards It was pointing towards, oh my days, I'm not Harry Potter, bro. Oh my gosh,
Oh,
there's
I'm
so
gonna
many
miss that guy,
quotables.
man.
There's
Oh,
so many quotables. I'm not
bro.
Harry Potter.
I know he was
Like,
gonna bring up the Arsenal game from last year again. Going up to our
Garnacho,
game, bro.
yeah,
Oh,
the Garnacho offside. Like, yeah, there's so many different like quotes that he's made, and yeah, I think essentially you saw, and you know what, it's very easy to forget how a lot of United fans felt when he first came. And this is why I'm being very careful regarding whoever it is that's going to be the next manager. Of course, I want them to do extremely well. Of course, there's nothing wrong with being optimistic. But I remember when Ten Hag came and we saw the football that he was playing at Ajax, we saw what he had done with that team, and a lot of United fans were very happy and a lot of rival fans were very upset. So things can change very quickly in football. Like, things can change extremely quickly. Like, things can be looking great and then things can be looking not so great. It doesn't take that long. Like, even after the first season, we started off badly, and then obviously we lost to Brighton, we lost to Brentford, and then we beat Liverpool at Old Trafford. And then obviously form started to pick up. He kind of changed the way we were playing, because he tried to do the play out of the back thing and we got exposed, and then he kind of changed it up. And then United went to finish third that season. We finished third and we won the League Cup. And then obviously last season was a shambles, but then we won the FA Cup. And yeah, man, things can change very quickly in football. So yeah, and I'll say this quickly, another problem I think with the whole thing regarding Ten Hag is that now we've got so many of his signings there. Like, we've got so many of his players that he wanted. And this is what I'm referring to when I'm saying there's a larger problem. Like, don't get me wrong, Ten Hag needed to go. So fans can't gaslight us into thinking that, oh, you know what, like, if things aren't necessarily going the smoothest, well, it's just like, oh, Ten Hag maybe wasn't the problem. No, Ten Hag was part of the problem. Like, that's clear, definitely clear. But also, yeah, whoever takes this permanent managerial role, whoever is appointed as Manchester United manager, there's a lot of work to do, because you've got players that Ten Hag signed. You've got Anthony, he was signed for how much? You've got all of these new players that came in, like Mount, do you get me, who were signed for 60 million, like Ten Hag signing. Obviously, like we've spoken about, like the new signings this season, etc. Agate, and the next manager might come in and might think, you know what, these aren't the players that I want. Like, do you get me? And then now there's a whole thing again. And I think that's been the problem with United when it comes to like just post Ferguson, is that we get a manager, he doesn't get it right, and then we have to rebuild. And then it's like, you know what, that manager needs his players. And then the same thing happens, and then the same thing happens, and the same thing happens. And I think a lot of the United fans that perhaps wanted Ten Hag to stay, I think it was probably because they were just scared of that process. But what I'll say to them is that whilst you can be scared of that process, just wanting to keep someone because you don't want change and you want to have like a manager that has been at United for a long time, like, that's not going to make things better. It's not. Like, so I saw someone said, oh, what if the next manager comes in and he's also not doing well? Then he needs to go. It's that simple. It's that simple. Like, it can't be a thing where it's just like, oh, you know what? Because you don't want to get rid of a manager, we're just going to accept rubbish. We're just going to say, oh, you know what? Of course, patience is important. So you've got to give a manager time. You've got to allow him to build. And sometimes things are going to get worse before they can get better. But when things are getting worse before they're getting better, we've got to see signs. We've got to see potential. We've got to see fundamental improvements. We can't just look at things and think, you know what, there's no hope here. And I think with Ten Hag, what was happening is that we're looking at it and we're thinking, you know what, we can't see any path towards us progressing. And that can't happen. When Klopp came in, I think Liverpool fans looked at it and said, you know what, we can see signs towards us progressing. Like, I think Arteta, of course, he came in initially. And I've always said this, I think in another world, Arteta easily could have been sacked like after his start. But obviously, the board didn't. They believed in him. And things have improved. Like I said, we'll see what happens as regards to if he can get the job done, because serious conversations will be had. But things did improve. And I think a lot of Arsenal fans, the ones I've spoken to, they've been happy with their improvement. So, yeah, I think you've got a managerial changes. They're complicated. Like, you get me? Like, it's not a thing where it's like, and I think me as a United fan, I'm not looking at this thinking, oh, you know what? Well, the change is going to happen and then everything is going to be great. Like, yeah, like I know that this is going to take time. And you know what? The next appointment, I'm hoping that it's going to be the right one. And, you know, our due diligence is done. But yeah, ultimately, man, it's a good day for United fans. It is. Like, ultimately, it is a good day. Yeah, man, it's a good day for United fans. Do you get me? So it's like, yeah. Again, some good moments. FA Cup final win, Ten Hag. I remember that 4-3 win against Liverpool in the FA Cup as well in the quarterfinals. That was great. Like, do you get me? Like, I remember beating City at Old Trafford when Rashford got the winner. That was great. Like, we've had some good moments, but ultimately, man, this guy needed to get out of my football club. He needed to get out quickly. And I will have no manager tell me that I am deluded, because that's essentially what he said. He said that I went to Old Trafford and I watched Manchester United lose 3-0 and it didn't happen. He said that Tottenham game was a facade. He said it was an illusion. He said it was an illusion, bro. He told me, he said it didn't happen, bro. And no manager is going to have me questioning my sanity, because I know I went to that game. I remember, I've got the ticket, bro. I paid for it. I went there. You can't tell me that you deny your first time witnessing a loss. You can't, bro. You can't tell me. Yeah, bro. You can't tell me you just deny it. That you deny it, bro. I saw us play some of the worst football I've ever witnessed, and you're telling me, no, I deny it because of a red card.
He said that the red card got rescinded. So,
bro, because the red card got rescinded, it doesn't count, bro. It was horrible. And like I said, a lot of people think that United even played better after the red card. Do you get me? So, yeah, no manager is going to come and tell me that I'm deluded because he's trying to tell me that I didn't witness. Again, like, who do you think you are, man? What kind of authority do you think you have to try and warp time? Do you get me? What kind of a dictatorship do you think you're leading to say that something that the fans witnessed didn't happen? I deny it. I deny it. I deny that loss. I deny that loss. It didn't happen. It's wiped off the history books. Like, yeah, man. That's a man that needs to get out of my club ASAP. So, man, it's a great day for United fans. I'll say that. But also, what I will say is that we have to be realistic. We can't expect everything to all of a sudden change, like, in a moment. There's larger issues. It's going to take time. We're going to have to be patient. And, yeah, hopefully whoever comes in as the next manager, they're able to, you know, get us progressing. So, yeah, that's the last thing I'll say about the whole Ten Hag thing. And I think quickly, rounding up, obviously, Villa at home to Bournemouth. It looked like they were going to get a 1-0 win, which would have been a big win for them. Like, they've had a good start to the season, but yeah, like, table-wise, that would have done a lot for them. That would have even, I believe, put them in front of you. So yeah, I think you're currently joint points with Villa on 18. So yeah, like, that would have put them on 20 points. Would have been really big, like 3 points off City, 2 points off Liverpool. And yeah, Bournemouth get the equalizer in the literally almost the last kick of the game, essentially. And yeah, I think that would have hurt Villa. I think Bournemouth, like we said, they're no pushovers. Like, they're a team which are definitely capable of causing an upset. And yeah, like, I think Villa would have been disappointed to have not got the win. I think, yeah, essentially they've done enough to get the win. And yeah, like I said, Bournemouth, they're no pushovers. I don't think it's the worst result in the world. Again, table-wise, Villa, fine. Do you get it? Like, 4th, 18 points joint with Arsenal, above Chelsea. They've won all their Champions League games. Like, things are all good there. But yeah, I think it would have been big for them to win. But yeah, I don't know if you have any thoughts on that result, bro.
Yeah, no, Villa definitely should have probably got the win. They definitely had a better chances in the game. But fair play to Bournemouth, man. They stuck in there, and it was a very good header from Eben Olsen. So
yeah,
very, very
I
good
think that's
header.
someone we spoke about as well when we were doing like the whole transfer tier list and stuff. So yeah, I think that's a big moment for him. And yeah, bro, just very, very quickly as well. I just want to do a couple honorable shout outs because yeah, there were some crazy games. Brentford, man. Hey man, that 4-3, they're just out here just thrilling, just having thrillers, bro. Like they're just having shootouts.
Nah, fair play to Whisper as well, man.
Yeah, man. Whisper came back.
Bang.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Like, fam, Tony left, but in Buemo, bro, that serious.
Buemo too.
Serious. And then Wissa, thingy. I think even the last goal, like it looked I think it looked fortunate because it looked like a cross. Like it looked like
I haven't actually seen that.
Yeah, it looked like
it was a last minute, so I mean maybe
it looked like a cross. Like I'll watch it again. Like I'll watch it again. But regardless, man, like big win, and I think having Wissa back, that's really important for them. And yeah, like Ipswich, I think they will be gutted because I think to go 2-0 up and then to allow Brentford to get back into the game at 2-2, and then for Brentford to go 3-2 up, and then for you to have a man sent off and then get the equalizer, I think you really would have wanted to hold on. So it's just like, and yeah, man, Adi said need a Brentford season ticket like yesterday. Fam, they're out here just entertaining, bro. Like, and it's funny as well because I think typically Brentford, they're kind of known for being that resolute team that is like, they'll like have those balls like into the box, whereas like, they'll make it difficult and sticky, and they'll cause a bit of carnage and etc. And yeah, man, like Brentford are just out here just saying, you know what, we're just gonna do our thing. We're gonna concede some goals, but we're gonna score. Do you get me? What is it? They hit Wolves for 5. Do you get me? Like it's switched for 4. I told you in the City game, like they easily could have scored more than 1. Obviously, they had that run where they were scoring so early in each game. So yeah, man, shout out Brentford. They're doing their thing. And I was also going to quickly talk about like the Wolves Brighton result as well. Welbs, man, shout out Welbs. Welbs is doing what Welbs does. Like, yeah, he's really doing his thing. 2-2, I think Wolves, like, I think a lot of people have spoken about Gary O'Neill. I believe you've spoken about him as well, and like how you rate him as a manager. And yeah, they've had like quite a hard start to the season, and it will be interesting to see like how things change as their fixtures change and whether they can pick things up. But yeah, just wanted to make a quick note of that. I don't know if you wanted to say anything on that, bro. Nah. Cool. And yeah, man, just to end it before we leave, obviously, for those who don't know, me and Ace, we've got a prediction table going on. So, every week we make our Premier League predictions, and the scoring system works in the following way. 1 correct result means you get 1 point, and a correct scoreline means that you get 3 points. So yeah, if you correctly predict the match result is 1 point. If you correctly predict the scoreline is 3 points. And yeah, I'll quickly get the table off. I'll block my face quickly and talk through it. That's currently what things are looking like. So quickly going through some of the results, I think we both thought the City win would be much more comfortable than it actually ended up being. Obviously, it was just a 1-0, but we both predicted City wins. So, yep, we both got 1 point for that. I think Villa as well, we both thought that Villa were going to get the win. Obviously, they didn't. It was a draw. So, yep, none of us got points for that. I believe I predicted a 3-1 win for Chelsea. Ace went with a 2-2. Which on another day, potentially, that could have been the case, if Isak was, a bit more sharp, but then obviously as well, I guess Chelsea could have scored more. So yeah, one of them games.
Bro, I was panicking when that penalty, when they got that penalty.
The free, when Palmer got it.
I was so happy that was overruled.
Yeah, that would have been the correct result there. So yeah, was close to that. And then Ace went with a 2-1 win for Arsenal. Obviously I went for a 1-1 draw. I didn't get the correct score, but I got the correct result. Obviously it finished 2-2. Yeah, like you said, thin margins, like on another day, like the result could have been different. But yeah, so I got a point for that as well. Yeah, none of us predicted Palace beating Spurs. So yeah, none of us got anything for that. So yeah, man, that's currently where we're at prediction table wise. Obviously, yeah, man, it's a long season. There's a lot of fixtures that we're going to predict. Things can change very quickly. I think earlier on, Ace was leading, and yeah, like I've been able to now, you know, come back. But yeah, man, it's a long season. So yeah, I predict like there's going to be like a lot of changes to the table. So yeah. And for those who don't know as well, what is currently going on is that we've got two competitions simultaneously happening. We've got FPL, where whoever finishes high on the FPL table, that's one part of the competition. And then the other part of the competition is the prediction table and whoever finishes higher. If one person wins both, then the other person has a forfeit where they're going to have to buy that person a football shirt of their choice. And yeah, if it finishes 1-1, so one person wins the prediction table and the other person wins the FPL or vice versa, then it goes to the decider, and that is our pre-season predictions, which is for the top 7. So that's what will occur then. But yeah, long season, like I said, a lot of things can change. We covered the FPL on the preview episode, so yeah, we'll speak about that then. But yeah, man, ultimately, thanks to everyone that's tuned in. Of course, like I always say, whoever's watched this stream for 1 second, 30 seconds, a minute, half an hour and a half, the whole stream, like we appreciate it. Even the comments as well, I do appreciate it, man. Yeah, man, like we always appreciate the engagement. We appreciate talking to everyone. And yeah, man, whoever's like liked, subscribed, shared, whoever's engaged with what it is that we've been doing, yeah, we really appreciate it. And yeah, man, like I think we're always gonna have fun, like when we're talking football. Like we'll have times where it's like, you know, more serious tactical analysis. We'll have moments where it's banter, and obviously part of the dynamic of this show is that we support rival teams, so obviously you're gonna see us argue a couple times as well, like, do you get me? So yeah, man, but like, you know, part of the reason why we started this because me and Ace, we always had very good football conversations, and you know what, we said, let's actually do something about it. And you know, like we both had the idea, and then yeah, very quickly we were able to formulate it. And yeah, so far so good, man. It's been consistent. We've been like trying to make sure that, you know, even when our schedules are a bit tight, like we've always tried to make sure that the stream happens. And yeah, I would say follow us on our socials. Our TikTok, we're active on there. We post a lot of clips like of the episodes, different things there. Yeah, but all of our socials, everything's in the link tree. You can see across the screen the FPL code. Please get involved. Like, yeah. And also, I'll say this, whoever wants to join in, whoever wants to be a part of the episode, please let us know, because we'll be more than happy to have you guys on. And yeah, we'll discuss football. We'll discuss, you know, the team that you support. If you've got anything that you want to challenge us about, then we'll be happy to discuss it. And like, yeah, but if you want to like engage in any conversation, if you know me and Ace personally, hit us up. You can hit us up on the socials. Like, yeah, just send us a message. And yeah, man, we'll be more than happy to like invite people on so we can, you know, just have a good time and talk football. So yeah, man, it's been another great stream. Obviously, Erik ten Hag, he's gone. Finally, it's a relief. Do you get me? Yeah, man. I was starting to think that this day, I knew this day would come, but I just didn't think it would happen this soon. Like I was actually thinking he was going to stay here till Christmas. So yeah, like it actually is a relief that he's been able to go, and we'll see what happens moving forward. Like I said, there's a lot of larger problems with Man United, but this was the first step towards progression. But yeah, Ace, do you have anything to say?
No, as always, thank you to everyone who has tuned in, and don't forget to leave a like. And yeah, we'll see you guys on the preview episode on Thursday, most likely. So yeah, thank you for joining.
Cool. All right, man. Hope everyone has a great week, and we'll see you guys on the next episode. Stay